Most people in the UK are not going broke because of one big mistake, but because of 10 quiet leaks that eat their money every single month. Subscriptions they never use, bills that rise without warning, free payment plans, and small daily choices are draining hundreds of pounds a year without them even noticing. If your bank balance keeps disappearing faster than it should, the problem might not be your income at all. It might be these hidden traps. Once you see them clearly, you can finally start plugging the gaps and keeping more of your money every month. Number 1. Hidden subscription creep. Many people in the UK are losing money every month because of forgotten or silently upgraded subscriptions that continue charging in the background. Streaming platforms, digital apps, fitness programs, cloud storage, meal kits, antivirus tools, software trials, and shopping memberships often renew automatically without clear reminders. Companies design their billing cycles to blend in with daily life, so charges look small and harmless on bank statements, making them easy to overlook. Even 1 or 2 unused services may not feel serious, yet across a whole year they can drain hundreds of pounds without providing any real benefit. Research shows that multiple households keep paying for services they stopped using long ago simply because the payments are automated. Auto-renewals are becoming even smarter because many platforms now bundle extra services into existing plans without explicit permission. Prices go up gradually, while features people do not need get added, and these changes are often hidden behind fine print or emails most people ignore. Some services charge different renewal dates within the same month, so the pattern becomes harder to notice. A person may think they are paying £8.99 per month, while in reality the combined renewals across several platforms are costing £40, £60 or even more. It creates a silent drain where money leaks away without any conscious decision. The easiest way to prevent this loss is to perform a subscription audit once every month. Check the bank statement line by line and highlight every automatic charge. Cancel trial periods immediately after signing up rather than waiting until the expiration date. Use tools that track renewals and send alerts. Ask yourself whether each subscription truly adds value to daily life. These simple checks can free up a large amount of income that most people never realize they were losing. Number 2. Rising essential bill inflation masked by stable figures. Many people in the UK believe their household bills have remained stable over the past year, when in reality they are quietly paying more. Utilities and service providers have adopted a pricing strategy that keeps the headline monthly charge looking the same, while increasing the total cost through small adjustments such as new service fees, higher standing charges, and reductions in discounts. Broadband companies, water suppliers, insurance brands, and energy firms often advertise prices as unchanged, yet the effective amount a customer pays goes up because the baseline rate stays stable while hidden components increase. This creates the illusion of consistency, giving customers confidence that nothing has changed even though the cost of living has risen slowly underneath the surface. A major reason this money leak goes unnoticed is the layout of billing statements. Most people only look at the total amount due and ignore the detailed breakdown that shows where additional charges have been added. Along with this, many providers now push billing notices through email rather than post, and customers typically skip them. Another tactic is to roll price increases into new, improved plans or mandatory upgrades, forcing consumers into slightly more expensive contracts that appear beneficial on paper. Many households assume inflation has finally slowed, so they stop monitoring bills as closely, which allows companies to raise costs without attracting attention. To prevent this unnecessary financial loss, reviewing the fine print of every essential bill once every 3 to 6 months is crucial. Contacting service providers to renegotiate rates or switch to promotional plans can significantly lower expenses. Comparing insurance, broadband, and energy suppliers at every renewal cycle ensures no loyalty penalties go unnoticed. When a provider refuses to adjust the contract, Switch to a competitor often results in immediate savings. Number 3. Income losses due to ill health or productivity drops. A large number of people in the UK lose money every month not because of overspending, but because their earning ability is quietly reduced by health issues they overlook. Chronic fatigue, poor sleep, stress, back pain, and untreated mental health problems lower daily productivity and lead to missed working hours, unpaid sick days, cancelled shifts, and reduced performance. When someone is paid hourly or earns bonuses based on results, even a small drop in focus can mean a noticeable difference in income over the course of a month. Many people assume poor health only affects long-term medical situations, but recent UK studies show everyday conditions are significantly shrinking monthly earnings for millions of workers. The problem becomes worse when people try to push through their symptoms without rest or treatment, believing they cannot afford to slow down. This creates a cycle where health worsens and productivity continues declining slowly enough that the financial impact is not obvious at first. Families notice that money feels tighter, yet they cannot pinpoint why, because the income loss is gradual rather than sudden. Those in physically demanding jobs and shift work are especially vulnerable to income drops related to health, and many do not realize that their reduced earning power is a hidden financial leak. Small declines in concentration or physical stamina can turn into hundreds of pounds lost over months. Minimizing this loss starts with recognizing that maintaining personal health is an investment rather than a luxury. Scheduling regular rest days, seeking medical support when symptoms appear, improving sleep routines, eating for energy, and incorporating physical activity can restore productivity and protect income. Keeping track of missed work hours or reduced earnings linked to health issues helps highlight the financial damage. When people begin treating health support as part of their financial strategy instead of an optional expense, the earnings gap often closes faster than expected. Number 4. Undersaving and weak financial buffers. Undersaving has become one of the biggest silent financial drains for households across the UK, because it forces people to use expensive short-term solutions whenever something unexpected happens. When a car breaks down, a boiler stops working, a phone needs repair, or a sudden medical or family situation appears, most people are pushed into borrowing instead of paying from savings. Even small emergencies can immediately trigger overdraft fees, high-interest credit cards, or buy now, pay later payments. This turns a one-time surprise expense into months of repayments, making living costs heavier than they should be. Many people believe they cannot save because their income is limited. Yet the real loss happens because not saving creates future costs far higher than the original problem. Another reason this hidden money leak continues is that people often underestimate how frequently unexpected expenses occur. Life does not follow a predictable pattern, and almost every household faces a few surprise costs every year. When there is no buffer, every unplanned expense becomes a financial shock. It creates permanent tension because one event can throw the entire budget off track. When money is already tight, using credit solutions feels convenient, but it leads to long-term financial pressure, and families continue living in a cycle of catch-up. Many households believe their financial situation will improve later, yet without savings habits, the situation rarely changes. Building a strong financial buffer does not require saving large amounts immediately. The most effective system is small, consistent, automatic transfers into a separate account every month. Treating savings like a non-negotiable bill rather than an optional extra protects income from future emergencies. Even a modest emergency fund reduces the need for credit, eliminates penalties and interest charges, and creates more control and security over monthly finances. Over time, this buffer becomes a shield against financial stress and an important tool for long-term stability. Number 5. High-cost credit and buy now, pay later traps. High-cost borrowing has become one of the most overlooked ways people in the UK lose money every month, especially through short-term credit and buy now, pay later services. These payment systems appear harmless because they delay the need to pay immediately, but the debt builds quietly in the background. Small installments spread across multiple retailers can drain the monthly budget before anyone realizes how much has been committed. Interest charges, late fees, and penalty adjustments accumulate when payments are missed, and the borrower ends up paying far more than the original price of the product. Many consumers assume BNPL is safer than credit cards, yet the real risk is mental detachment from the cost, which makes spending easier and repayment harder. Another financial leak comes from payday loans, overdrafts, and high-interest store cards. These products target people who need temporary cash, but the repayment terms are designed to keep them borrowing. Banks and lenders often charge daily interest, meaning the longer someone struggles to repay, the more expensive the debt becomes. Even small balances can turn into heavy monthly losses once interest and service fees build up. Many people also do not notice recurring charges from missed payments because statements are often sent by email and get ignored. Credit providers rely on the borrower's attention drifting so that the debt continues generating revenue. Reducing this loss begins with tracking every form of repayment and calculating the total outgoing amount instead of focusing on individual installments. Consolidating high-interest debts into a lower-interest repayment plan can stop the cycle faster. Avoiding BNPL for non-essential purchases and choosing a cooling-off period before buying reduces impulse debt. Using a prepaid wallet or budgeting app for shopping protects against overspending. Number 6. Stagnant incomes versus rising living costs. Many people in the UK are losing money each month without noticing because their income has not grown at the same pace as everyday expenses. Salaries for a large portion of workers have remained mostly unchanged for years, while food, transport, rent, insurance, and childcare costs have steadily increased. When income stays the same but expenses rise slowly, the financial pressure builds in the background. Households often feel like they are budgeting responsibly, yet there is still less money left at the end of the month. The issue becomes harder to detect because the rise in costs happens gradually, so people adapt instead of realizing they are falling behind financially. The situation becomes worse for workers who rely on fixed salaries, limited overtime, or industries with low pay progression. Many employees do not negotiate pay or request salary reviews because they assume their employer will offer a raise automatically. As a result, their income remains stuck while essential goods and services continue to become more expensive each year. Some people also replace wage growth with credit use, thinking it solves the gap temporarily, but that creates more long-term financial stress. Families begin cutting small pleasures, such as dining out or travel, while still wondering why their accounts are always tight, because the real reason is the shrinking value of their monthly income. To minimize this loss, it is necessary to treat income growth as part of financial planning, rather than something that happens by luck. Asking for a salary review at the right time, tracking market pay ranges, taking skills courses that increase job value, and applying for roles with better progression can make a noticeable difference. Exploring freelance work, part-time self-employment, or remote side income can also help close the earnings gap created by rising costs. When income starts growing steadily instead of staying flat, the pressure of monthly expenses becomes easier to manage and financial resilience increases. Number 7. Unexpected bills and lack of financial resilience. Unexpected bills are one of the most common reasons households in the UK lose money every month. Yet the financial impact often remains invisible until it becomes overwhelming. Car repairs, home appliance breakdowns, medical costs, plumbing issues, school expenses and emergency travel tend to arrive without warning. When a budget has no flexibility, even small surprises push people into overdrafts, credit cards, or high-interest loans. These solutions feel convenient in the moment, but they lead to repayment cycles that linger for months. The real financial loss is not the emergency itself, but the additional fees, interest, and penalties that follow. A £120 expense can easily turn into £300 or more once short-term borrowing is involved, silently draining future income. This pattern repeats because most people underestimate how frequently unexpected expenses occur. They assume emergencies are rare, yet nearly every household faces multiple surprises every year. When the budget is already stretched, a lack of resilience makes each problem feel like a crisis. People begin juggling bills, skipping payments, delaying purchases, and prioritizing immediate needs over long-term stability. This creates a cycle where life feels financially unpredictable and stress becomes constant. Many believe their money management is failing, while the truth is that the financial system collapses simply because it has no buffer to absorb shocks. Breaking this cycle is possible by creating a dedicated emergency category within the budget instead of treating surprises as accidental events. Setting aside a small amount regularly builds a safety cushion that can be used immediately without borrowing. Choosing to save specifically for household repairs, car maintenance, and health needs prevents repeated financial setbacks. When unexpected bills stop triggering debt and become manageable instead, the sense of control increases and monthly income is protected rather than lost to fees and interest. Number 8. Unchecked cost of living increases in essential services. Many people in the UK are losing money every month because the cost of essential services rises silently while household spending habits remain unchanged. Broadband, mobile plans, water bills, council tax, groceries and public transport are gradually increasing in price through small incremental adjustments that most people do not monitor closely. When the monthly difference is only a few pounds, it feels insignificant. Yet, when every essential service increases at the same time, the combined effect becomes substantial. Families often believe that their expenses are consistent because they shop at the same supermarkets and use the same providers. But the total monthly outgoing amount continues to grow in the background. This financial leak becomes more damaging when companies apply automatic yearly price increases that consumers rarely question. Many utility providers apply mid-contract adjustments, and supermarkets change unit pricing rather than the obvious shelf price, so shoppers do not notice they are paying more for less. Insurance companies raise premiums automatically during renewal and rely on loyalty habits to keep customers. Food packaging has also shrunk while prices stay the same, creating a situation where people pay more without realizing it. As a result, households feel that budgeting is becoming harder, even though nothing about their lifestyle has changed. The most effective way to reduce this unnecessary financial drain is to track regular spending every few months and compare it with previous bills instead of trusting memory. Switching broadband, energy, insurance, and mobile providers once contracts expire can reduce yearly costs dramatically. Shopping based on unit price rather than packaging size helps uncover inflated costs at supermarkets. Using price comparison tools and cashback apps adds another layer of protection. When people start actively monitoring the cost of essentials rather than assuming stability, monthly spending becomes more predictable and savings increase naturally instead of disappearing without explanation. Number 9. Spending drift and neglect of small losses. Spending drift is one of the most underestimated ways households in the UK lose money every month because it develops slowly and quietly. It begins with small, routine purchases such as takeaway coffee, snacks, app upgrades, weekend delivery fees, convenience store items, taxi rides instead of buses, or paying extra for quick shipping. None of these costs feel significant on their own, which makes them easy to justify. The problem arises when these tiny transactions become habits and spread across the entire month. People believe they are controlling their spending because they avoid big purchases, yet their bank balance still drops faster than expected because dozens of unnoticed payments accumulate. The cycle becomes even stronger when digital convenience takes over financial awareness. Most online platforms are designed to reduce friction and make spending effortless, encouraging users to save their card details, use one-click checkout, or round up payments automatically. These small payments no longer feel like decisions, so they do not register mentally as expenses. Restaurants and delivery apps also push tempting promotions that appear cheap but become expensive when used regularly. When late-night shopping, impulse buying, or emotional spending joins the pattern, financial leakage grows while remaining invisible. People feel confused about where their money is going because the losses are too small to remember individually, yet too large to ignore collectively. The solution starts with monitoring micro-spending rather than focusing only on major costs. Spending caps for non-essential categories help create clear limits without eliminating enjoyment. Waiting 24 hours before making optional purchases reduces emotional buying and increases control. Tracking every convenience purchase for 1 month can reveal patterns that were hidden before. Switching small habits, such as making coffee at home using click and collect instead of delivery, or planning meals for the week, can protect a surprising amount of money. Once these small leaks are sealed, monthly budgets become easier to manage and financial confidence grows naturally. Number 10. Poor financial literacy and failure to plan for the unexpected. A large portion of people in the UK lose money each month simply because they were never taught how to plan, budget, or make financial decisions with long-term stability in mind. Financial literacy is not commonly taught in schools, and many adults do not fully understand how interest works, how contracts are priced, how credit affects future costs, or how to create sustainable budgets. This lack of knowledge leads to decisions that seem harmless in the moment, but carry expensive consequences later. People often focus only on paying bills rather than managing financial growth, so their money circulates without building security. The impact feels like constant financial pressure rather than a single mistake, making the root cause difficult to recognize. The problem grows when people avoid long-term planning because they fear dealing with finances or assume planning is only for wealthy households. Without clear goals, budgeting becomes reactive instead of strategic. Many workers live on short timeframes, waiting for the next paycheck without tracking yearly trends, savings progress, pension contributions, or debt patterns. This creates a cycle where financial stress is normal but never properly addressed. Important decisions such as retirement planning, insurance, investment, and emergency savings get postponed repeatedly until the lack of preparation becomes expensive. People who never pause to analyze their financial habits often feel stuck even when their income improves, because structure matters more than earnings alone. Improving financial literacy is one of the most powerful ways to stop money from slipping away. Watching educational content, using budgeting templates, reading simple financial guides, and discussing money openly can build awareness and confidence. Setting long-term goals provides direction, while monthly financial check-ins Keep spending aligned with priorities. Learning basic concepts such as compound interest, risk management, and long-term planning protects income more effectively than cutting random expenses. When people understand how to manage their money instead of reacting to problems, financial control becomes stronger, and unexpected costs become easier to handle. Most people in the UK are not losing money because they are careless spenders, but because the financial system is designed to take small amounts quietly, month after month. Hidden subscription renewals, rising household bills, buy now, pay later payments, shrinking incomes, and unexpected expenses build pressure in the background until it feels like money disappears on its own. These leaks are subtle enough to escape attention, yet powerful enough to shape an entire year of financial stress. The moment these blind spots become visible, everything starts to change. Awareness leads to control. Control leads to better decisions, and better decisions lead to more security and stability. When even a few of these leaks are fixed, the difference in monthly savings can be dramatic. Financial progress becomes easier, not harder. If this breakdown helped you recognize where your money might be slipping away, take the next step now, instead of waiting for things to get tighter. You have more power over your financial future than you realize. It begins with clarity, consistency, and small actions that make a big, long-term impact. If you learned something valuable today, hit the like button, subscribe for more smart money insights, and comment which money trap surprised you the most. And don't leave yet. Watch the next video to learn simple financial habits that can save you hundreds every month.